Mike. It's Monday morning. It's Cinco de Mayo, and it's time for your Monday morning mortgage update for the week of May the 5th. So I hope you had a great weekend, beautiful weather in the North State. I am going to give you some insight about what happened last week in the market and what's going to happen this week from the mortgage perspective. Always try to give you tools, tips, ideas about what's going on, what could impact mortgage rates and the market so that when you're going out there making decisions on buying and selling property, you have some information behind you that you can help make you or you can make the right decision. So last week we saw rates tick up a little bit towards the end of the week. They were actually moving in the right direction down, and then we had some data that came out. So basically, it was a jobs week. So anytime a week starts or ends in the first week of the month, all the jobs numbers come out and how many jobs are added, how many jobs are taken away, what's the wages up or down, unemployment up or down, et cetera. And we really saw a lot of negative information for the economy in relation to jobs. But then we ended the week with some positive information. And so that created volatility and that created rates to go up. And basically, more jobs were added on a survey, the BLS survey from the feds, than were taken away. And that means that the economy has strength, and that's not good for mortgage rates. However, this data flies in the face of all the other data that's out there, and it's really not data, it's a survey. I guess it's data. So even though nobody puts a lot of trust in the data, they still react to the data, even though nobody believes it. So anyway, it caused rates to tick up a little bit. We had negative GDP, negative economic growth in our economy, and that should have been good for mortgage rates going down, but the jobs data rode that. So what are we looking at this week? Really two things: the Fed slash tariffs, and then some data. So the Federal Reserve's meeting this week, they start the meeting on Tuesday, they end it on Wednesday. After the meeting on Wednesday, Jerome Powell, our federal chair, comes out and gives a press conference and talks about what they talk about. And this is not a big meeting. There's no economic projections. Basically, everybody's just wondering, are they going to start making some decisions based on all the data that's coming out from the new administration, what the Trump's doing in the economy? And we're going to start seeing it this month. Most likely, we'll see the bigger impact in June. So the Fed doesn't expect to cut rates. Nobody expects the Fed to cut the Fed fund rate, leave it flat. But again, they'll be talking about what they feel the economy's going to do, and they're probably going to say, "Hey, we need more data. We need more data." So nobody really thinks that we're going to see a lot of movement in rates because of the Fed meeting this week. The biggest thing is tariffs, and will any deals be announced before the Fed meeting or at the time of the Fed meeting or after? And India really is the one that is the gossips out there that they have reached some kind of a deal with the U.S. So will that be announced this week? And that could be the catalyst for other countries to make deals. So everybody's just waiting for the first big country that negotiates and makes a deal with the U.S. China's still 145% tariffs, and that's just an increased cost. Either China's not going to ship anything because nobody's going to buy it. That creates a supply and demand issue. That'll increase costs. And if China does ship things and the importer pays for that, they'll pass the price down to the consumer, the cost down to the consumer. That's increased costs. So both of those scenarios are inflationary, and that's not good for rates. So again, everybody's just kind of waiting for this tariff story to start to unfold. The next thing is data. So it's kind of a light week on data, but we do have a 30-year Treasury auction. The Treasury is selling debt to pay the bills, raise money, and the 30-year Treasury auction on Thursday could be impactful because it matches the mortgage-backed securities. And if there's a big appetite for that, if people pour money into that Treasury auction, it'll be good for mortgage rates. Another stat came out over the weekend that I think is really impactful, and you may not have really heard about it in the news. 10 million, over 10 million student loans are in default. 5.3 are over 200 days of default, and 4 million are at 90 days or more of default. So why is this impactful? Because starting today, the Fed, student loans are federal debt. It's death taxes and student loans. They don't go away unless there's some type of a relief, which really hasn't paid a lot of those. So starting today, they can start garnishing tax refunds and Social Security income. And starting this summer, they can start garnishing wages up to 15% of your wages. This is a big deal. There's a lot of people in default that just haven't paid it since 2020. They didn't have to, but now they have to pay it. And if they haven't paid it, they haven't been able to stay in that no payment plan. They're required to pay it, and a lot of people are in default. So how's that going to affect our economy in the months ahead? It could definitely have an impact on spending. And if people don't spend, that's weaker for the economy. That is better for mortgage rates, but it definitely puts us more in that path of a recession. So interesting stat to pay attention to. If you have any questions about what's happening in the market, don't hesitate to give me a call. All my information is down below. If you know somebody can benefit from this video, please forward it to them. Hope you have a great, productive week. Oh, and if you want our Friday rate drop on Friday, send it out in a text. Let us know. We'll put you on the list. We'll send it out Friday morning, and it just gives you a snapshot of how the week ended, headed into the weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.